poster.
Mm-hmm.
I know that last step takes forever. All right. Welcome to Powered by Authenticity. I'm actually in a real life studio today at Seneca One Tower, where we're part of the Women in Tech Western New York event. And it's really fun to be here. And I'm joined by Isabel Trevino and Susan Moss. Hi, guys.
Hey,
Hello.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's nice to meet you guys in person.
Yes,
Yes.
it's so much better in person. Yeah,
It is.
And a cool space too.
It's so cool here.
yeah, love it.
Yeah, thank you, M&T Bank, for letting us invade your space today. But we're about to take the stage as panelists talking about mentoring. So we'll get into that a little bit, but I would love for you guys to introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you work, any family, all the good stuff.
Okay,
Sure. Yeah, I'll kick it
take it
off.
away.
So I am a Texas native. I moved to Buffalo 3 years ago, almost to the month. I currently work for AAA Western Central New York as an IT project manager, leading technology-based projects for all the businesses in the club. But it wasn't really always the plan to go about it that way. I graduated with my master's in business in December of 2022. I think commonly kind of unclear what happens after you graduate. But with Susan's help and kind of mentorship and guidance, I've been able to land a really great spot in an awesome organization that cares about my skills and developing myself as a professional. So the rest of my family is in Texas. They're the part I miss the most, but there's a lot of draw to being in Buffalo, and that's why I've stayed here for 3 years.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing.
yeah.
Susan Was. I'm the Chief People Officer over at AAA Western in Central New York. If you wonder what I do all day, I do people all day long. Everything from human resources, learning and development. We have a driving school at AAA, and I also oversee our public affairs and safety, workplace safety, and facilities. And then last but not least, our branch operations. So all of our retail store locations. And so I am fortunate to be on the side of Buffalo, born and raised, went to college here, grew up here. I have an extremely large family, meaning cousins beyond lines of cousins that at one point may have left, but came back to Buffalo. It makes my job of connecting with someone like an Isabel so much easier because I can tell her why she wants to be in Buffalo.
Yeah. You like it here so far? You enjoying your time?
I absolutely love it. I think moving across the country is difficult for anyone for a multitude of reasons. And the first year was a tough transition, I think, just personally, coming out of college, entering the workforce, moving 1,700 miles away on my own. Like, I think those are all really big things to overcome. But the more time I spend in Buffalo, the less I want to think about what's next, and the less I want to think about where I may end up after Buffalo, because it's just become such a near and dear place to my heart.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is because of the people. I mean, Buffalo has a great atmosphere and a great environment between city and outdoors, but there's something about people that, like Susan said, maybe move away and they come back. There's a reason why people keep on moving back. So it's been great here. I could talk about it forever.
That's awesome. And let's just ask the question that everyone's going to want to know. Favorite wing spot that you have found since you've moved here?
There's 2 that are fighting for the spot, but I have to give it to Bar-Bill.
All right.
Yes.
Bar-Bill wings, the dry rub, the regular, like anything at all. I love those wings.
Yeah.
And I love how it's presented in a bouquet. It's like, it looks so
Yes.
pretty.
It is actually.
Yeah, that's a really great location. I go to the one off Transit, so North Bar-Bill. I don't think I've been to the South Towns one yet.
I'm so proud of her being the Buffalo
I know.
person that, Bar-Bill's my go-to. So good job.
And even using the term Southtown, Northtown.
Yes.
That was not a
Impressive.
thing I knew.
You're
3
getting
years
very
ago.
Buffalo-esque. I love this about you.
Well, this event that we're at today, the importance into just for the women in the technology industry in Western New York, what does it mean to you to be here today? And what does it mean just to have it as something that's accessible to us in Western New York?
I think I'll kick us off. One perspective that I've been on the talent side of the business world for, I hate to say it, but 20 plus years. And when I really think about where tech has started, where it's going, it's never ending.
Yeah.
And so what we need to dial into is breaking away from the barriers of, male dominated fields, that where this is headed, number one, doesn't need to be, but where the world is headed, we need a diverse population of minds to get in front of where technology is going and how to properly use the technology that's coming. We just came from a session about generative AI. It's how you use it that will make you successful. And so this can't be about a certain select type of individual. It has to be about talent that exists today, and how do we get this information in front of them so they know that the careers are fairly endless, but they're going to change a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think more so that careers are endless, but also there's a lot of opportunity in Buffalo, which I think people maybe don't initially think of.
Yeah.
But as someone who came with a college degree and like no work experience, it is very possible to find a job in Buffalo that is not only available but aligns with you, so you're not kind of altering what you think your career might be to the job, but finding a job that works well for you. And I think Women in Tech is a really great place for a young professional that's maybe was in my place 3 years ago, where it's a conference that's curated towards women in tech. And I think it's really important that the atmosphere and the vibe of this place also carries that mission through. So people that maybe are a little bit more shy or apprehensive in certain networking environments, I think this is a really great place to come out and engage with other women in tech in Buffalo.
Yeah. It is amazing to see. So in the networking area, all of the different organizations that are available in Buffalo that you may not be aware of, that are down there, and just you get exposure and get to talk to somebody. Or if you just want to be here to learn, there's the breakout sessions where you can just consume the information, which I think is just incredible to have a little bit of everything.
And I think we'll talk about that a little bit in the panel discussion that we have, later today. It's you feeling confident in who you are and the skills and abilities that you can bring forth to another organization. I think the CIO from Linda from M&T even shared with the group today is what you're doing today or tomorrow isn't all you're ever going to do.
Yeah.
And you really have to think about the conversations that you have in an event like this could lead you to somewhere tomorrow or 5 years from now. But you have ownership of that. You have the one thing you have a control of is what you're doing to promote yourself, promote your skills, promote those abilities and capabilities that you have.
Yeah. And I think the other thing that I keep saying is that there's no real job description anymore. Like if there's a piece of technology that you're just like, I think this should be done, or I would handle it this way, networking and conveying the way that you might approach something could result in an opportunity that an organization doesn't even know they need yet until they hear what your thoughts are about that particular topic. So I think it's also a really interesting time that we're in, where even content creation for corporate, like how many, everybody's on social platforms, and how cool would that be?
Right.
Yeah.
That is really applicable. I was just having a conversation downstairs with a girl I met in the bathroom, which I think is a very women in tech thing. Like we're washing our hands and she was like, oh, hi, by the way. And we were talking for 5 minutes in the bathroom. But she was sharing with me that she is a student who's graduating in May, and she's very interested in tech, but she doesn't feel like she has a lot of hard skills in technology. And I could not relate more. Again, 3 years ago, had a degree, had no idea what I was going to do with my degree. But what I did have was a way to communicate what I was good at. And so, and I just kind of gave her that tidbit that it's okay not to have what you think you may need for a job, and you definitely don't let that stop you from applying. Because there's a lot of benefit to having strengths that they might not think they need, but that you can carry into that place and transform something, or, be really helpful to a certain project. So that's like right on the money with what I was just talking about downstairs with my new friend in the bathroom.
Well, and how did you guys meet? So how did this mentorship even launch?
Yes. So my number one question I get is why I moved to Buffalo and how I choose Buffalo. It wasn't entirely random. So I had a family member that moved to Buffalo about 1.5 years before I did. And we were at a family lunch in Texas a few weeks before I was about to graduate. And he was saying, I know this really great person at work. I work at a really wonderful organization full of amazing people. I think I can give you some guidance. Just right after you graduate, give this woman a call and you guys will talk about your skills and, where you think your career might go. And at the time, Susan was VP of HR. So I was like, this is great. What a better opportunity than to talk with someone of that caliber.
Yeah.
So that's how we got acquainted.
Mm-hmm.
A Zoom call, Teams call.
Yeah. So I'll take it from there. So one of the things that I've learned throughout my career is I never turn down an opportunity to help give advice to someone who's trying to find their place.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, you're going to have many different lives throughout your career. But if I can help guide someone to land something that's meaningful for them, then I feel like I'm doing my work for this life that I have.
Mm-hmm.
So I get on this Zoom call with this woman, Isabel, and know her uncle. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do this for James, no problem. And I'm like encapsulated in this conversation. I'm like, wow, she's pretty awesome. And so we start talking and we're just kind of chit-chatting about why she studied what she studied and what she hopes to do. And again, she not necessarily ready to go on where she wants to head. But I said, you know what, let's gear this conversation a little bit of a different way. What do you think you're really good at? When you took classes at school, what would your teachers tell me about you? Like, what is it that you continually hear, just like you hear in a performance review, of the things that you seem to do really well? And so she starts to tell me, and I said, okay, great. Have you ever considered project management? She said, I really like details, and I'm really good at organization, and I'm really good at thinking ahead of things. And I was like, gosh, that's really great. Project management. And she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
What's that?
Yeah. She might have even said it just like that. And I said, well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send you a job description. And I'm going to send you a job description. But then we're going to talk about what that job description means. And so she took a look at it. And I think we scheduled another call maybe even after that. And again, neither one of us have any tie to each other, but I have a job open.
Mm-hmm.
And so we start talking and I said, wow, this is going to be a hard sell for me to this manager.
Yeah.
But then I opened the conversation. Would you ever move to Buffalo? Your uncle's here. You've got someone here.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, maybe.
Yeah.
And so fast forward, it was through conversation and her sharing what she's capable of and me connecting dots and saying, hey, gosh, this is what this person needs. We could teach them all those things. We could teach them our products and our services and what systems we work on. But what I needed was these skills and abilities that she seemed to articulate really well to me.
Yeah, I love that. And I say all the time, I'd rather hire for work ethic and enthusiasm and just what that person's bringing to the job. To your point, you can teach systems, you can teach process, you can teach project management, but what you can't is, and especially in project management, that's a relationship role. Like that is building trust with not only your team, your project team, but your sponsors and your stakeholders. So that's just, I feel so passionate about the fact that, more people like you need to exist to say, just bring me the really great person and we'll work it out from there.
It's matchmaking.
And
people really have to think about it that way. And yes, degrees are important to build skills and abilities. But at the end of the day, the things that you just mentioned and what I call power skills, not soft skills, they are power skills. That is what brings your career along.
Yeah. I love that. I'm like scream that as much as I can from any rooftop that will have me. Especially in tech, because tech is changing so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
What you guys said it. What you know today is not what's going to be there tomorrow or the next day.
Right.
So that's awesome.
Definitely.
Cool. All right. Well, how about Western New York? Anybody who you would love to see on the podcast? Like maybe anybody that you see like interesting character. I wonder what they're like in a conversation. I know it. I kind of sprung this on you.
You did. You know what? The cool part about Buffalo, and this goes back to Isabel's earlier comments, Buffalo is full of people that, well, I'm the Buffalo girl, I'm going to say it, that are just really great people to engage with for the reason that they truly, genuinely want to engage with you. I'm in a network roundtable of a number of women executives throughout Buffalo, and it would be hard for me to choose one of them, honestly. But there's a few that stand out that really do a lot from a community standpoint, but also do so much from a business standpoint in the Buffalo community. So I would say Trisha from Crowley Webb probably stands out to me. So Trisha from Crowley Webb,
Okay.
she's their CEO.
Okay.
She really stands out as a dynamo person that can engage in a podcast on so many different levels. Anyone you can think of?
I'm taking a different route with this.
Oh, let's
one.
go.
Not being from Buffalo and still meeting a lot of,
Yeah.
I think, the professional side of Buffalo. I'll go a different route. But still speaking to how wonderful everyone in Buffalo is. My first neighbor that I met when I moved to Buffalo in 2023, his name's Marty. Marty is a fantastic guy. He is a superintendent, or he previously was a superintendent of a few different universities.
Oh, wow.
One in Texas for like 7 years.
No way.
So he is a fantastic person in Buffalo, and I think he encapsulates just like the community and like the heartfelt talking to your neighbors in the hallway for way too long when you have like grocery bags in your arms and you're listening to Marty's stories. But I would love to see him again and catch up, because he was just like the welcoming committee of Buffalo in my first apartment.
That's
So
awesome.
he could definitely share a lot of great stories, not only
That's so
about his
cool.
career, but I think just living here for such a long time.
Cool.
That is awesome. Yeah, it's funny. We when we started the show just about 3 years ago, we had a different kind of vision in mind. It was only women in tech, but what we found is that there are women that were being challenged outside of just tech, right? Like I had a friend who was an attorney, and she's like, "You should talk to me, like, and what I'm facing." And then since that, we've evolved that. And last year, right around this time, we had somebody on the podcast. Her name is Susan O'Sullivan. She's probably here today.
I know Susan very well. Okay.
And they said, "We didn't know that somebody like Susan existed in Buffalo." And I'm like, "Oh, well, hold on just a minute." So we have been branching out, and the conversations, and it's funny, we've met with like Kristen Cronin from Meat and Eat Charcuterie. She was a banker. She started her own endeavor. And what she's feeling are some of the same challenges that we feel. And it's been fun to connect outside of just tech to really brainstorm different ways to handle different situations. So it's been pretty cool. To you guys' point, if you ask people, there's only been 2 people ever who said, "How much are you going to pay me to be on your show?" And I'm like, that's not what this is
And
about.
laughs and smiles.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it's fun to see the connection come forward.
Yeah.
You can feel it in
Absolutely.
the conversation.
And I'm really grateful you have a podcast, because I think coming again from an outsider into Buffalo, like having these opportunities just to pull different people, like you're saying, from different areas of the city and the whole region, like this is where like the business happens and conversation happens, and like we give Buffalo a really great name for being a professional city for people to come locate to and stay here for 3+ years. So thank you for having us on.
Yeah, thank you for being here. We're on stage in just about an hour.
Okay.
So we'll see you back down there, and we'll be roving. We're going to do some live interviews from the networking hour and stuff like that. So feel free to swing on by. But thanks, you guys, for taking time today.
It was great.
All right,
Thanks for having us.
See you soon.
Okay.
All right, bye.
Thank you.